in the end.
The Santa Monica studio has always been an essential studio for Sony ever since it was founded in 1999. Before they made the God of War series, they made a futuristic racing game in Connecticut, but more importantly, before God of War, they also had an external development group separate from their own development house. This group helped as a publisher/business developer for indie developers, but it also helped co-develop other games by Sony-owned studios, such as the studio behind today's game, Incognito Entertainment. Founded in 1999 as well by Scott Campbell, producer of Rogue Trip, Incognito was an up-and-coming developer who got their break in 2000 when they signed a deal with Sony Computer Entertainment and developed Twisted Metal Black for them. Twisted Metal Black returned that series to form and even went the further mile by getting original designer of the first game/director of the second, David Jaffe. Twisted Metal Black was a critical and commercial success, receiving rave reviews for bringing back the good of Twisted Metal 1/2 while adding a new touch to everything. Because of the success, Sony acquired Incognito Entertainment in August of 2002 and renamed them Incog Inc. Twisted Metal Black was the start of several successful games for them, sort of a Incog trilogy as I like to call it. In addition to Twisted Metal Black, they made War of the Monsters, a fighting, action, beat-em-up hybrid that was a nice tribute to kaiju and 1950s sci-fi movies, and today's game, Downhill Domination. Downhill Domination was announced in April of 2003 for a summer 2003 release. At the time, extreme sports games were really on the rise, and extreme sports in general for that matter as well. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and SSX revolutionized extreme sports games for their respective sports of skate and snowboarding respectively. But nothing had been quite done for mountain biking. Someone at Sony took notice of this and made a downhill mountain biking game. It seemed to come out of left field, and since this was the first of its kind on the PS2, there was a bit of expectations, and with not many mountain biking games still on the console, this one had to shine. Downhill Domination was released on July 23, 2003 for North America, February 13, 2004 for Europe, where it was published by Codemasters, and May 20, 2004 for Japan under the name Mount Bikers Bakuso Mountain Bikers. I do remember vaguely playing this game when I was a kid at some event, but I never played it fully until 2017, and even though I waited enough with this game, I didn't even know the name of it, taking up space in my brain. I'm glad I played it because, hot damn, this may be one of the best extreme sports games on the PS2. Downhill Domination has both single and multiplayer modes. You can play any unlocked single event at any time. You can do normal races, free ride to practice the course, and time trial to get the best time. You can unlock 2 bonus modes as you play through the game. Mosh Bowl lets you take down the other riders in a last man standing / most points after 2 minutes ordeal via the game's combat, more on that later, and Super Jump is similar to the big air events from SSX 3, where you'll get enough speed and perform a massive jump off a ramp to get insane air and perform as many tricks as you can to get the best score. You can also play these modes in multiplayer in addition to normal races. You also have Training, which is the game's tutorial and will walk you through how to play, but the 2 main modes you'll play in the game to unlock things are Arcade and Career Mode. You have 4 different specialized careers. Each one focuses on a different type of downhill mountain biking courses. Free Ride focuses on full downhill racing and is the most similar to SSX. It's where we get to the other careers where things are a bit different. Mountain Cross focuses on tighter parts of the mountain. They're narrower, shorter, and your turn game will have to be really strong on these ones. Technical Downhill will really put your turn game to the test as there are more obstacles to avoid in addition to other riders. Freestyle will take you through the free ride courses with no other riders and will give you a list of goals to complete. Once you complete them, on to the next course. Arcade Mode is a 13 Best of Race series that is essentially a career without the name, and finally, the Super Career will put you on all non-freestyle events, all 24 of them. The racing itself pretty much remains the same throughout each of the types of courses. It's a point A to point B sprint race, much like SSX, but there are some differences here that make it stand out. For starters, the green bar is your sprint meter. If it runs out, you can't sprint. Keep it full by performing tricks and energy pickups. Pickups are another thing that helped distinguish this game from SSX. Though SSX had speed and trick boost pickups, This game has more. Energy refills your sprint meter. Quick Mount will instantaneously remount you if you wipe out. Adrenaline Boost gives you 1 fast second boost. Extra Points gives you more extra points. And combat upgrades give you the next level of combat. The combat is handled differently here compared to SSX as well. There are different combat levels. At the start, you only have punches. As you get combat level pickups / do well in the race, your combat levels up. Punches, kicks, hip checks, stick attacks, and water bottles in that respective order, from least powerful to most powerful. Be careful not to wipe out or you'll go down a level. You won't find these power-ups on mountain cross courses, but you will on others. Freeride also has black diamond gates you can cross through for more points. Otherwise, the racing is still similar to its inspiration, tricks and all. Though the trick system is slightly reworked, and that's the perfect segue for the game's controls. The racing controls are pretty on point and easy to grasp. X for pedal, double tap for sprint. Steer with the left analog stick. You can also move forward or backwards for a manual. L3 / double tapping direction buttons left or right lets you power slide. Triangle brakes. Double tap select to bail out. Circle and square are left and right combat respectively, and the shoulder buttons perform tricks. Well, except R2. R2 lets you bunny hop, and the longer you hold it down, the more powerful your jump will be. Do this off a ramp to get more air. When you're in the air, you can mix R2 with other button combinations for tricks. Triangle lets you tweak a trick, and you can do a super trick by hitting all 4 shoulder buttons plus triangle when the trick meter is full. It does seem like a lot, but you'll pick up on it very fast. I do mean very fast, by the way, because this game's sense of speed is intense. Riding down the mountain feels intense and fast, and dangerous as it sounds, and you combine that with how this game looks, it's not too hard to get immersed. Speaking of which, this game also looks good. It isn't really a technical powerhouse, but where it lacks in that, the game is aesthetically pleasing. There's a decent variety of environments on the courses you race on. Mountains, deserts, volcanoes, a Peruvian village, ice mountains, Canadian wilderness, and you even race through an urban city at one point. Everything looks about how you would expect. It has good environmental textures on objects like trees and buildings, though some mountain textures quality is a bit weak, but it doesn't impede on the experience. The animations are also pretty good. Trick animations look smooth, riding animations are equally smooth, and character animations on the menus also look good. To top it all off, the game manages to keep a rock-solid 60 FPS without missing any major beats, especially with the fast action and the occasional weather effect where applicable. It just blends together to get the job done. Even the menus look cool with the mountain and rider selection. I always remembered that when I first demoed this game, and that always stood out to me. The sound design also helps complement things. Not only does the racing feel intense, it sounds intense. The pedaling sound adjusts depending on how fast you're going. The combat sounds pack a punch. You'll hear near-miss sounds like when your character moves their legs up and around the bars. And the sound design just makes you feel like you're actually in the race of it all. The intensity of it all. The menu sound effects also sound cool. The music, though, is an interesting case. We have a mix of both original and licensed songs. It's a mix of rock, metal, electronic rock, and electronica amongst one-off choices from other genres like funk, pop, rap, and rapcore. Artists featured include Cinder, The Donnas, Morphine, Kazzer, Andy Hunter, Propellerhead, Slipknot, and Saliva, with Saliva's Your Disease being the intro theme, amongst many others. There are some original songs in these genres done by Chuck E. Myers, and some more done by unknown artists if you use the no list mode only. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you can customize playlists as well for songs to play during races in addition to predetermined playlists. Major plus right there. The voice acting is fine. I couldn't find any major names in the cast, but they give off the performances you would expect for a game of this era. Attitude and lots of it, though the dialogues during the races do tend to feel a bit too frequent at times. Otherwise it all works. There's actually quite a bit of replayability in this game. In addition to the 6 default fantasy riders, there are 2 more fantasy riders to unlock, and 6 real-life downhill mountain biking racers. Eric Carter, Tara Lanes, Richie Sheely, Missy Giove, and Brian Lopes. You can even unlock the kinetic clops from War of the Monsters. In addition, you can unlock bike upgrades. As you win races, you'll earn cash converted from the points you earn in a race. You can spend this cash on bike upgrades, which you will need for later courses. Upgrading parts also gives you a 50% trade-in value on the part you replaced. Beating career/arcade with specific characters unlocks their videos, endings for the fantasy riders, and interviews with the real riders. You can also buy other bonuses in the shop, like special modes like stretchy mode, sparky tricks, a water pack for faster energy refills, more music, dual slalom, poster maker, pickup editor, fog editor to modify pickups and fog for default courses, or you can make your own set, animals to ride on, and a prototype bike. Some you have to spend cash on, others you can actually earn by accomplishing certain goals in the game as well. And if you can't accomplish those goals, you can just buy those items anyways. You can also unlock sponsors by playing normally, so your gear can have corporate logos on it. These include websites like Amazon and eBay, and drinks like Gatorade, Mountain Dew, Sobe, amongst many other products. Basically, there's a lot to unlock and keep you playing for a good while. You can even create custom tournaments once you beat the super career once. Downhill Domination is an intensely fun game that took a formula seen in one extreme sport game and applied it successfully to another. It looks, sounds, controls, runs, and plays well. It has a great sense of speed, is fun as hell, and has a lot of content to keep you coming back for more. However, some textures aren't as sharp as others. Racing your dialogue during races is a bit too much at times. It's not quite revolutionary like other games in the genre, and the game may be too fast for some. Still, if you stick with it, I think you'll find a game that's very rewarding and packed to the brim with a lot of cool stuff. It's sad that out of all the games in the Incock trilogy, this is the only one that didn't get re-released on the PS2 Classics on PS4 service. You can buy Twisted Metal Black and War of the Monsters digitally, but you can't buy this. It should have, and Sony, it's not too late to fix this mistake. Or are we going to have to basically throw this on the old PS2 Classic? Oh well, either way, I say that because, quite frankly, for me, this is the best game of this trilogy, in my opinion, and should not be overlooked by anyone with a PS2/backwards compatible PS3. I give Downhill Domination a 4.5 out of 5. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, click the big red button below to subscribe. Check out the other links in the description for more cool stuff, and check out the playlist on screen for more content. See you in the next video.